Right, so today we're going to talk about YouTube. I'm going to make this video very short, very simple, very useful if you want to build a YouTube channel. 1, 2, the trials are falling down. 3. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today's video we're going to talk about YouTube momentum and why it's important and how to utilize it, and how do you know when you're getting it, how do you know when you don't, and what can you actually do. So let's talk about momentum firstly. I've got something in my teeth that's very annoying. So to give you some background on how I actually know what the hell I'm talking about, back in 2016-17-ish, I play World of Warcraft. I was a gaming channel for 5-6 years, and during that time I had a couple of guys that did very well. So they got to 100,000 views and 70,000 views respectively. Now those numbers in these, you know, they're not millions and millions of views, but it proves that through supply and demand you can understand how one video going viral can help snowball your channel, or viral, or getting a lot of traction. Because what you need is discovery content that allows your ideal audience to find your content. Now it needs to be the right kind of content, and I was going to do this in a separate video, but I think I'll bring it up here. I recently, on this channel that you're watching right now, had an event video that has got into recommended and has continued to get thousands of views a month. Now, most people will be like, that's great, Colin. Lots more people are seeing the brand. Problem is, I'm actually debating on whether I should privatize that video, simply because, is the people watching that video necessarily going to care about the content I'm making now? I don't know. I don't think so, because that is an event-based video. So the event is going to showcase, so people who are interested in events may not necessarily be interested in the technical media process of creating that and being able to create that. Now, don't get me wrong, it's a great proof of concept when you go to a client and say, well, look, I was able to bring you 20,000 eyes to your event, for example, or etc. So the thing is, for me, the thing when you look to do that is you need to understand, you need to think about, okay, well, firstly, is the video that has done very well, is it in your target audience? Is it the group of people who you want to follow your channel and you want to build a community around it? It's always about building community, and you should know the majority of the people who do consume your content regularly, because if you don't, it's a missed opportunity, because the reality is going to be, it's going to be small at the start, and you want to capitalize on how small it is so you can build some levels of momentum. And it's also about something that I'm going to go into a little bit later on in this video, which is talking about continuing no matter how busy you get. And the same would be true of marketing, and you could use the same here of marketing as well, but it's the same is true with social media, the same is true when you do anything. So the main concepts here are, firstly, understanding, one, you need a video that's going to get traction, that's going to get views, that's going to bring in people to introduce them to the brand, to introduce them to what you do. All right, then you need to ask yourself, is that video, so in my case, probably not, is that video specifically to your target audience, to the people who would like to hire you, would enjoy the rest of your content on your channel? Now, if you've rebranded a couple of times and you've done, you were doing makeup tutorials and now you're doing camera reviews, maybe it's better to start a new channel so you can build up a reputation as a camera reviewer instead of a reputation as a makeup artist. That's your decision to make. It is feel like starting again, but you are, no matter whether you don't or do. I mean, using the key example of the gaming channel, when I initially stopped gaming and stopped actually having my background in game development and really, stopped creating that gaming content, for me, I rebranded that channel as my personal camera channel, as my vlog channel, as my Brunter Media channel that showcased Brunter Media as a production company and as a marketing agency. But the problem was, the majority of the people who subbed to that channel had not subbed for this content. They had subbed for the gaming related content, they had subbed for the World of Warcraft content, they had subbed for me as a gaming content creator. So they're not going to give a shit. Right? The reality of the fact is, they're not going to give a shit about what I'm doing now. So that's why I made the switch over to this channel now, and why, luckily enough, thanks to the video in question, the event video which we talked about, but also me being consistent, this channel has continued to grow and has continued to grow in following. And it's also, I think, in some ways you need to understand when you need to invest in having content and constantly have an idea in your head of what different content you can create, and also having it as your main pillar or your main goal or your main thing to do. Because even when I'm very, very busy with client work, I always have a way, or always structure my day so I can still create videos, because I know it's important for me as a company to be able to continue to create content and continue to have content going out. So no matter how busy I am as a company, because I may be busy today, right? But what about tomorrow? What about next week? What about next month? What about next year? If I stop creating video content that keeps things ticking over and keeps showcasing what I can do, especially in the Salisbury generic, community, especially the creative community, you'll forget. People's lives are busy, especially with COVID right now. People's lives are very, very busy. They don't necessarily have the time or the energy or care, and they need to be reminded that I exist. So when they have a need for, I'm reopening my shop, for example, I could really use with a promotional video to help me showcase the fact I'm open, or I'm running a new event and I need people to come to it. We can showcase the event for you. These are just some examples of how you can utilize video. But if I'm not there in your mind, you're not going to come to me. You're going to go to someone else. You're going to go somewhere else. You're going to ask around. You're going to things, and there's other strategies you can put in place when it comes to a business and building a media company, which I'm going to do other content about. But here, specifically in this specific YouTube sphere, or this content specifically talking about YouTube momentum or momentum in general, it's important to understand firstly who your market is, and this is true with marketing or momentum in general, but then also being consistent. And it's hard work, and that's why there's value in outsourcing parts of it. I myself outsource video content creation. I outsource editing. For me, as a content creator and as a media professional, I still see value in outsourcing it, because my time is becoming more and more valuable the busier and busier I get. Same will be true of you if you're in your business. If you need to ask yourself, what's going to cost you more money, right? Is it outsourcing it to someone who can do it in half the time to a higher quality, or you learning the editing program, editing software yourself, and then specifically creating that content, editing that content, posting that content? Or could you spend those hours when you have the clients, when you have the cash flow, when you have that demand, through doing this, serving your clients, making money through your clients, selling more products, working on an online course, working on this, working on these other strategies, working on these other products that allow you to help you build a stronger, more powerful and more profitable business as we go into the later parts of 2021 and as we go further into 2022, 2023, etc. So, for me, momentum is something which you can't just stop. Once you stop, you lose your momentum, right? An analogy I use a lot with clients is you have a snowball. It's going to go down the hill, and then a lot of marketing terms and a lot of business people use the term of snowball effect. Now let me explain the snowball effect for those who don't know. A snowball effect is very simple. You take a snowball, it's very small, and you take some momentum, you take some effort to push it first, when it's at the top of the hill. As it gains and picks up more snow, as it rolls down the hill, it will slowly, eventually, roll down the hill all on its own accord. And eventually, if you keep going and you keep feeding it and giving it that more snow, which is the content in this case, you're going to get up to a position where your snowball, you couldn't stop it even if you wanted to, because it's gained so much momentum and so much snow, it's going down the hill faster and faster and faster. And that's what's going to increase your demand. That's what's going to allow you to scale your business and have higher levels of demand and be able to stay in business through times where you technically wouldn't necessarily, or not technically meant to grow your company, or technically it's harder to, because you're not focused, laser focused on providing a better service, providing a better product, sourcing better products, working on branding, doing those things, working on the business instead of in the business. If you can outsource some of the tasks or some of the things which allow you to get your message out there, to talk to your ideal consumer about why you're important in their lives and why you're valuable, then you have more time to work on the things that really matter to you and your business, which is maybe that's finding more staff, maybe that's finding better products, as I said, maybe it's thinking up other services, other products, other things you could offer that add huge amounts of value to your ideal consumer and to the people you want to help, and the main reason why you got into business in the first place. Now, this video has become a little bit tangenty and has come on to a little bit, away from YouTube momentum, but it's mainly more about momentum in general. So I hope this did help you understand why momentum is valuable, why momentum is helpful. And if you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to my Instagram. It's linked in the description down below, or reach out in the comment section down below. I'll be sure to get back to you and we can have a conversation about momentum or anything else that I mentioned in this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video and you would like to see more, make sure to be subscribed to the channel. I upload 3 times a week, and I'll see you very soon.